Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. Thank you everyone for coming for this super special live stream that we were having. Boy, I cannot speak tonight. I apologize. Our super special live stream that we are having in celebration of the upcoming 1 hour Darkwing Duck special episode of Ducktales, which is happening tomorrow night. Woo! I was kind of expecting a thing there. Okay, never mind. So it is Sunday night, and if you are watching this after the fact, then the episode has already happened. Thank you for that. That was ill-timed. So yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you for that as well. I'm super excited tonight because just to give you a little bit of my own personal history with Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck came out when I would have been a sophomore in high school, and I kind of missed out on it. At that time, as most of you probably know, when you are in high school, your life becomes very dramatic, and everything is dramatic. And so I kind of missed out. Like, I was aware of things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Darkwing Duck and Ducktales and the Disney Afternoon, but I wasn't really watching them. I wasn't seeing them. I knew of them. And Darkwing Duck was something that I would see advertisements for it, and I would see clips for it, and I knew inherently that I loved it. I hadn't seen any episodes. I didn't own any toys, but it was sort of love at first sight. Have you ever had that experience where you see something and it just immediately grabs you as, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I want more of this. I don't know what this is. Yes, admittedly, it normally happens when you see a girl, but that's sort of how I felt about Darkwing Duck, and you can read into that what you will. So I kind of missed out on Darkwing Duck. I knew that I liked it, but I didn't know why. And then fast forward to just a few years ago when we have the newly introduced DuckTales. And I love the new DuckTales show. I love the new DuckTales show. I am a long... Thank you. Yes, everything about it. I am a longtime David Tennant fan. In fact, as luck would have it, I was visiting home from college when they rebooted Doctor Who, and at the time I didn't have television at my apartment. I was poor, and so. I go home and my family just has the Sci-Fi Network on in the background, and while we're visiting and in fact I think I had just arrived there because I seem to remember I was in the process of hugging my mom and saying how much I missed everybody, and in the background I heard this character call someone the doctor, and I turn around and I see this odd-looking show, and there on the screen is David Tennant. Now, you have to understand that I was an old-school Doctor Who fan from way back in the day. I loved Peter Davison. I loved Tom Baker. I mean, those were my two doctors. And then it went away. They had they attempted a new series on the Fox network, and I saw, and it was like a 2-hour TV movie pilot, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I loved Paul McGann as the Doctor, and then it was just gone. It was just gone, and as far as I knew, that was the end of Doctor Who. And yeah, it is kind of sad, Retrobot. And then I was visiting my parents, and I hear Doctor in an English accent, and I look around and I see David Tennant. There was no TARDIS on the screen. In fact, the episode was 42. And I turn around and I see that odd-looking British-style cinematography, and I see David Tennant, and in an instant, I knew what that show was and what it meant. And I loved David Tennant. From that moment, once again, love at first sight. David Tennant, amazing, absolutely amazing. And I remember the scene where Martha's in the pod and it's floating away, and David Tennant is at the porthole, and he's yelling, "I'll save you!" Except you can't actually hear him; you can just see him go. And it was I get goosebumps just thinking about that first time seeing that show, and then I caught up with the show and I watched Peter Eccleston, who was amazing, and then there was Christopher Eccleston. Yeah, I said Chris. Oh, Peter Eccleston? Well, that's his brother, who is also a very accomplished actor. And okay, so anyway, Christopher Eccleston, who was also amazing, and then I didn't think that they were going to beat David Tennant. But then you have Matt Smith, and he was just maybe, yeah, I think that he might have even been better than David Tennant. It's hard to say.
I'm the clever one, you're the potato one.
Thank you, Matt. And I will take the mantle of being the potato one to your clever one. So yeah, nonetheless, David Tennant instantly for me was love at first sight. Darkwing Duck, for me, was instantly love at first sight. And then with the first episode of the new Ducktales cartoon, where Scrooge McDuck is voiced by David Tennant, of course, I love it. Absolutely, I love it. It is so witty and so self-aware.
But I thought employees were greatest treasure of all!
Don't be ridiculous!
Treasure is the greatest treasure of all, that's why it's called treasure! Bubbled out!
And those are truer words have never been spoken by Glomgold. Treasure is the greatest treasure of all. So, of course, watching the new series, they've been planting seeds of Darkwing Duck since season 1. We got to see that episode with, it was the one with Goldie, right? Where, no, it was the driver's license episode. Yes, the Gizmo Duck episode. The first episode with Gizmo Duck. And that's where it starts out with a scene of Darkwing Duck, where in this universe it is a TV show, and it is like Launchpad's favorite TV show. And my TV just took a dive. It's a very well built thing though, and max headroom is okay. Oh wait, now it's Pac-Man. So let's just.
Glom gold!
And will it stay? I don't know if it's gonna stay. Thank you, Retrobot. It may not. We'll just see, and And if it falls over again, I guess I'll just ignore it. I don't know. So yeah, that is so they introduce Darkwing Duck as Launchpad's favorite TV show in season 1, and then in season 2 we actually get an honest-to-goodness reboot and an origin story for how Drake Mallard in this universe, an actor and head of the Darkwing Duck fan club, takes on the mantle of Darkwing Duck. And then we also got the episode where Launchpad and Beak bond over Darkwing Duck, which was awesome. So they've been very carefully giving all of us Darkwing fans just a little bit of Darkwing, and it's hard for me to imagine that they're not going to be doing a regular series. I just feel like that has to be the intent, especially with, sadly, the end of Ducktales on the horizon. So I don't want to see Ducktales go away. There's room in the universe for both shows to exist at the same time. They can have a season 4 and have a Darkwing show, and then they could cross over, and everybody likes a crossover. So that is my history. I am now just eagerly waiting for the new DuckTales episode, and I am even more so just hoping beyond hope that we actually get a new rebooted Darkwing Duck series. I have gone back and I have watched the original series, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I binge watch it, and it's great to watch when you're doing projects if you don't actually want to get a lot of work done. So truth be told, but I will say that I would love to see the premise of that show and those characters done with today's sensibilities about storytelling and TV. It's a little bit disjointed to go back and watch that series and see how you'll have that opening pilot set of episodes that just introduce the characters, and then immediately the next episodes start out with him being established, and he is a well-known superhero, and there's fireworks. I don't know why there's fireworks. It's not even dark outside. I hope that the zombie revolution isn't happening right now. And if the zombie apocalypse is happening, I'm glad we're talking about Darkwing Duck. This is a good way to go out. So yeah, I completely lost my train of thought there. I don't know what I was talking about. I think I was saying something about Darkwing Duck. We got toys! But before we go to toys, let's welcome people, because we got a whole bunch of people here, and I've got some Darkwing Duck purple soda, Darkwing drank. So let's get hydrated. I feel like I could have done that better. So let's. Okay, we got this. All right, so let's see who's here. Oh my gosh! So Monica has very graciously made a list of everybody that she's seen so far, which is helpful because I've got the chat going on my screen, and you see me pointing over here, and it looks like I'm pointing to the bottom corner, but for me it's the top corner, but the camera's up here. So we're gonna try and get through this. A toast to Flapping Terror. A toast to Collie D. A toast to Glomgay. Great name, Glomgay. Toast to Noisy Paper Dragon. A toast to Chill. Chill. It wouldn't be a live stream without you. And Jonah. Welcome back, Jonah. Enigma Prince. Ooh, I like that. Arsena. Am I saying that? Arsena. Welcome to the live stream, Arsena. A toast. Jeff Rothman. And Kyoji. Oh boy, Kyoji. I'm. You know what? I'm not going on if you don't show up. That's a new rule. So, Mark Lungo. Welcome back, Mark. The American Dude. In my mind, I'm imagining the Big Lebowski, and I hope that you are too. A toast to the American Dude. Pale Iguana. Is that supposed to be a G or is that a Q? Okay, so it's either Iguana or Iguana. So, Iguana? Yes. Pale Iguana, which admittedly does make more sense. And Joy. Joy, thank you for joining us on a Sunday night. We love you, Joy. And of course, last but not least, Cassie Vivian. Thank you for joining us. We are going to have a fun night tonight. We are going to look at all sorts of old toys, and we are going to analyze them and discuss them, criticize them, but pretty much roll around in nostalgia for a while. And we are also going to give some stuff away. We've got Darkwing Duck votive candles. You can see one of them right here. This is the Gosselin votive candle. There goes my my Tivu. That's this is one of the things that you learn on this live stream is how to not place your speaker. And one of those ways is not to place your speaker on the head of a plastic skeleton. It doesn't work that well. So we're gonna give away some of those. I will grab this, and I'll tell you what. Here. There. So that'll work a little bit better. Now, if that falls over, that's it. The live stream's over. We are also going to give away a couple of custom-made Darkwing Duck pinball games. Are these considered pinball? You know, I mean, when I think of pinball, I think of the machines in the arcade. But yeah, I think these are pinball games. We've also got a set of Darkwing Duck buttons and Ducktales buttons, and so we've got some of those. So we're giving stuff away to people because giving stuff away is fun. And so before I move on, I want to throw out a huge thank you to Duck Talks. You guys have been really supportive of getting the word out when we're doing stuff like this. I know that you've posted some of Pixel's artwork, and you guys are awesome. I put a link to your Twitter and to your live stream, or yeah, it's your YouTube in the description of this video. And I know that tonight, I believe at 10 o'clock, you are doing a playthrough of the Darkwing Duck NES game, and that is at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's the GMD negative 5 hours thing. I'm old and I don't understand the negative 5 hours thing. Well, I understand it in theory, but I can never remember what my number is. So please, everyone, check out Duck Talks. They are a fine group of people who are awesome and friendly and very supportive. And let's see. So Mark Lungo was asking if this is real soda. This is a grape vanilla super soda. Although it kind of tastes like cream soda. So you know, it may be a cream soda. But nonetheless, this is we. It's not something that you can buy. We relabeled it. Monica's artwork is on the front there. So so yes, that is a Monica creation. But it is delicious and smooth, and it helps me feel dangerous. So let's see. I'm getting another word from my sponsor. Okay, she's my wife. She's not really my sponsor. Let's see. One last thing. Let's go over how the contest will work. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Later on in the live stream, I'm going to give you a secret word. And you type it into the chat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take down the names of every user that types in that word or phrase. That is how you enter the giveaway. And then we're going to put all of write each name on a little piece of paper. And when I say we, I actually mean my loving wife, Monica. And then we are going to, that was good. We are going to put them into little capsules and dump them into the capsule machine and then draw names from the capsule machine. So that's going to be later on tonight. That will probably be closer to like 7:45 or 7:30, somewhere in that range. So if you need time to get to a device where you can join the chat, then you have like an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes to be able to get to a device where you can enter the chat and put in the little phrase, and that way we know that the people that we're trying to give stuff away to are actually here and can provide us with contact information and stuff like that. So yeah. And also a toast to Pirate Steven. Pirate Steven, thank you for joining us. And we've moved on to the metal version, which is pretty awesome. So now, after all that has been said, let's turn back the dial. We're going back in time, and we are going back to the year 1991. The Disney afternoon is now in full swing. Ducktales has been a fantastic success. And then it went away to be replaced by the next Disney afternoon show, Darkwing Duck. The story of Drake Mallard's, not single-winged, because he also had launchpad, his quadro-winged fight for crime. You know, they say single-handed. So, see, that's what I'm going for. So, and of course, we got toys. At least we got some toys. Let's go to the side camera. So we got a lot of toys here. And you'll see that we've got Launchpad and Gosselin and Darkwing and Steel Beak and Megavolt and Tuscarnini and then Beetroot, Bushroot, and and more Launchpads and then her friend, what's his name? Honker. Yeah. If my name were Honker, I'd want to forget it too. So we've got all these characters, and I'm going to start back here with Tuscarnini because honestly, he's probably one of the least well-known characters. I'm also going to adjust the light just a little bit here, because I need to be able to show this stuff. So there we go. We got that's a little bit better. And so these toys were created in 1991. Let me just make sure that they are in good focus. So there we go. Tuskernini is, he's a walrus stage performer who has, he's probably the character on the show with as big of a flair for the dramatic as Darkwing Duck himself. And each of these toys had some kind of a mechanical gimmick, although a lot of these don't seem to work very well. I'm not sure if it's probably due to age, but he seems to have some kind of bowing action, or maybe an evil laugh action, or maybe it's a lunge, but he seems to sort of do something like that. There's not a whole lot. I mean, even if this were working, it doesn't seem to move all that much. And I have to say that it's... I'm really not feeling this gimmick. The figure is a nice representation of the cartoon likeness, certainly, but I'm not really a fan of this hard plastic. The only points of articulation are in the arms and in the belly here. If you use this gimmick as a point for him to be able to stoop a little bit, you can't position the feet. You can't remove the hat. There's not a whole lot that you can do with this toy other than just hold him and maybe say, "Aha! I will defeat you, Darkwing," and then have Darkwing, maybe attempt to hold his gas gun, which is another thing that just doesn't seem to work very well with this line of toys. So I'm just going to kind of cheat with my fingers there, and then he can, and you have defeated me with your gas gun that has something coming out of it, but I don't know what it is. Oh, and that's really all you can do. Oh, you can hear my cat in the background protesting this line of performance, but yeah, that's Tuskernini, and I'm just gonna say it's not the best toy. If you missed out on this one, if you're a collector and you really and you just want to have this on your shelf, looks great on a shelf. It looks like the cartoon. You can at least put it into a I'm going to get you kind of pose. So there is that. But as for playworthiness, there's just not a whole lot happening here. And seeing as how there weren't vehicles, at least not a lot of vehicles with this line or anything like that, and the hands, I wonder if he can at least hold... Wait, we have to find this out. This is important. We have to see, because his one hand does have a little bit of a grip to it. So if we can get him... Oh, yes! Okay, my opinion of this toy has just increased a lot. So you can get him to hold Darkwing's gas gun, and that's pretty cool. All right, that's important. That's something that needs to happen more often. So yes, Tuskernini with Darkwing's gas gun. That's pretty awesome. I'm happy about that. So let's see. Oh, and Geeks Comics Entertainment, and I believe Cosmics. Geeks Cosmics Entertainment has just signed on. So welcome, a toast to you, but more. I saw that you just subscribed, so thank you doubly for subscribing. A toast, two toasts to Geeks Cosmics Entertainment. Also, Max Vercounteren. Vercoutier. Did I get it? Oh, okay. I think that she was starting to type a pronunciation, and then I actually got it right on the first try. So, Max, a toast to you for showing up. Thank you so much. I hope you don't mind that I'm calling you Max. It's easier that way. So, so yeah, I will say that being able to have Tuscarnini hold Darkwing's gas gun, that's pretty awesome, and that's important. Because, yeah, I feel like with toys like these, when you don't have a whole lot of articulation, being able to have them interact in different ways and in unique ways. Like, I wish that his hat came off. I wish that you could take off this hat and maybe swap it with Darkwing's hat. I like that he can hold the gun. I wish that there were more accessories and kind of universal hand grips so that they could all use each other's stuff, because that's the kind of stuff that's fun. Let's see. Oh, that's not original Darkwing's gun. Wait a minute here. I wonder if this more plasticky looking one is. Nope, we don't. What are you pointing at? So, oh, it's in the baggie. Oh, okay. Okay, so wait a minute here. Let's see if he can hold. So we do have Darkwing's accessories here, which is important because we don't have all of these. You know, a lot of these we got secondhand on eBay. So this is Darkwing's original gun, and we've also got a pair of binoculars. And so first of all, let's just see if Darkwing can hold his gun. He really cannot. His hands just don't have any. There's no grip there. You know, the thumbs need to come around a little bit, and there's no post holes. There's nothing there to make him able to hold this, and that's why Tuscarnini can use Darkwing's gun. Which, wait here, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. So there we go. So we've got Tuscarnini with Darkwing's gun, which he might as well use it because Darkwing can't. And here, we'll also give him Darkwing's binoculars, and maybe we can get them into this hand. There we go. So yeah, look, he can almost hold them up, and it's like, now if his head could pivot, which it is a different piece, but it doesn't seem like there's any pivoting in here. So they'd be sort of like opera glasses. So now Tuscarnini is doing all right. He's got Darkwing stuff since Darkwing can't hold them. So that's pretty good. The problem with most of the line, many of the accessories couldn't even be held by the toys, and that's sort of what we're getting at here. Most of these characters don't have grippy hands. They have hands that go out like this, or as you saw with Darkwing's thumbs, they go out like this. And it's like, come on, these were made by Playmates in 1991. Now, just to contrast here, let's show you another toy that was also made by Playmates in 1991. Yeah, you remember these guys? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. These were what put Playmates on the map. And now these guys, of course, can hold their weapons. It's a little bit difficult, but wait, here, there. So, obviously, Playmates understands the value of having toys that can interact with their accessories. But it seems like for the Darkwing figures, they just didn't think that much about it. Also, you take a look, and now this is a 1991 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. If you go back, this is a 1988 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and you see that in this line, you know, there's a little bit more attention to detail. They're a little bit more edgy looking. You know, they got the sneer. There's not a whole lot of posability in these early turtles, but you do have leg motion and arm twisting and then shoulder motion and head motion. So you could still do a certain amount of stuff with this, but by 1991, they were thinking more about gimmicks. And even with the turtles did not escape the gimmick wave of 1991. These ones have this duck the head down and then the head pops back up. And that's pretty cool. I like the action, but what you're also getting with that is much harder plastic and a lot of limits to articulation. And so you can see that the designers at Playmates were sort of doing a thing. And this was crossing over to all of their lines, not just Darkwing Duck, where they weren't as interested in articulation as they were with having some kind of mechanical gimmick. And then certainly you see that here with Tuscarnini, and you will see that with the rest of these figures. And some of the gimmicks are better implemented than the others. So Max says Tuscarnini was an underrated villain. It's a shame he probably won't be on the special tomorrow. And I agree with you. He, in the old episodes, he seemed to hold his own. And like I said, anybody who can have as much flair for the dramatic as Darkwing Duck is a worthy adversary. Now, that being said, the hope is, and this is what I'm anticipating, so if I'm wrong, then you may chastise me as I deserve, but I honestly believe that we are going to be getting a Darkwing Duck regular series. I at this point, I think that some of this stuff may have been put out as they're just testing the water to see how people react and to see if people are open to that. And to me, it's been unanimously, yes, please, Darkwing series now, please. And so I think that especially this being their third season, they wouldn't be wasting an hour episode on the topic of Darkwing Duck if they weren't planning on continuing the story. And if they continue the story, you can almost count on getting Tuscarnini, and you will get a far more well-developed Tuscarnini with more backstory and more character development. So, Jeff Rothman wants to know if I've read the Darkwing comics, and I am sorry I have not. Doesn't mean that I won't, I just haven't. I read a lot of Transformers comics. I'm also really looking forward to The Last Ronin, which should be out by now. I think but I haven't made a trip to my comic book store lately. And of course, Monica has been reading all of the old Ducktales comics, all of the old Scrooge McDuck comics, and so we have more comics. So are we have stuff to show? Is that what's happening here? And let's see, James Silvani, who drew the Darkwing comics, sent Monica artwork. Okay, so this is going to be really cool. This is from James Silvani, and this is original artwork. So I'm just going to hold it up for the camera. We're going to see if we can get it into focus. So that is original James Silvani that he sent to Monica because she's awesome and she deserves cool things. And that's gorgeous. That is just gorgeous. I mean, it shows. This is a Goldie. And love this Goldie. There's just so much personality put into that single image right there. You know exactly who she is. You know that she's experienced and that you can't trust her. So that's pretty awesome. And then we also have Magica. And she just looks sinister and pretty cool. I love the style. His style is fantastic, and it's pretty awesome to have original works from him. That is really pretty cool. Amanda and Nora Mermaid are here. A toast to Amanda and Nora. Welcome, Amanda and Nora! So, Mark Luno points out that Gosselin has completely open hands and has no chance of holding her hockey stick. Yeah, what's up with that? Here, just take a look here. I know we're getting out of order here, but yeah, what are you supposed to be able to do with her? Now, I know that she's got this gimmick. So you can go like this, and she throws her hands up, and her braids pop up. And that's actually a pretty good gimmick. It works really well. But again, if the only thing that you want to do with this figure is have Gosselin look surprised, then great. But if you want to have her do anything else, she can't do it. She can't move her arms into a forward position. She can't move her hands. She does have some leg motion, so that's good. You can have her sit and look surprised, and you can have her stand and look surprised. But that's it. And for a character who arguably is a better fighter than Darkwing Duck, I want her to be able to hold her hockey stick. In fact, I want her to have, I want her to essentially be the Casey Jones of the Darkwing Duck world. And I want her to have a baseball bat and a hockey stick and a frisbee. And I want her to be able to throw down with some of these supervillains. That's what we want. I want to see a team up between Gosselin and Webby. That needs to happen. So yeah. Once again, we've got the priority with this toy is the gimmick and the likeness, but nothing else. And so. Mark Lungo says. Not very keen gear. and yeah, that's very much so. A toast to Mark. Thank you, Mark. So yeah, and you're gonna see a pattern with a lot of these toys where let's go ahead and go to Steel Beak. We've got Steel Beak over here, and Steel Beak, once again, it looks good. Looks like he did in the cartoon, but virtually no posability. You can't twist the waist, even though it looks like you should be able to. The feet are fused; they don't move. He has a beak opening gimmick, so you can open the beak and get it to click into place, maybe. And there. Oh, no. He's tricky. He is tricky to get his beak to lock into place. I got it earlier today, and now it's fighting me. Come on, you can do it, Steel Beak. Huh. Well, normally you're supposed to be able to open the beak, and then when you press the little button on the back, then the beak snaps shut. And it's not a bad gimmick, but it's obviously it's not working all that well. And maybe that's just because of the age. It could be a case where if the thing weren't over 20 years old, then we'd be able to get it to work. But also, just gonna say that I got this guy, and even if the beak gimmick were working, that's it. You know, that's what I get with this toy. I don't get. You know, he's got virtually no grippiness to his hands. So you know, if we go to Tuscarnini, where did you go, Tuscarnini? I put you somewhere. Oh yeah, Tuscarnini's over here. So if we take a gun thing, you can't get him to hold the weapons. He doesn't hold anything. He doesn't get into poses. He can reach forward, and that's, you know, sadly, that is what's happening with a lot of this line, is that there's more concern with trying to work in some kind of a gimmick than really making a toy that you can play out scenes with. And I don't really understand, since obviously the driving force behind wanting to own any of these toys would be the show. You know, this is not a case where toys were made first and then the show was made to promote the toys. The show came out and then they made toys based on it, and I don't know if maybe they just didn't have the passion for the characters that they did with the Turtle Project, but obviously the love isn't here in the manufacture of something like this as it was for, you know, something like this, and that's a little bit of a shame, because Darkwing Duck is awesome, and he's got a pretty elaborate rogues gallery, and so there's a lot of opportunity to do stuff, and you know, the toys were a little bit underwhelming, which is, you know, that's just kind of a sad thing. I'm sorry, I get a little bit verklempt, but we're moving on. So we'll just set Steel Beak aside here, and we'll take a look at Megavolt. Megavolt is probably one of the most well-developed villains in the Darkwing Duck Rogues Gallery. He had a backstory. He had, you know, this is, so I kind of feel like, even though you want Negaduck to be Darkwing's worst nemesis, but at least watching the old show, the guy that you saw more and more was Megavolt. And he always, he was actually kind of a sympathetic villain. He went to school with Drake Mallard. He was unpopular, just like Drake Mallard. He was intelligent, like Drake Mallard. The two of them could have been friends if Drake Mallard, at least in that show, was a little bit of a jerk to him. And everybody was a jerk to him. And I have to say that even watching that old episode, it bothers me that the takeaway is that in the end, Darkwing is more concerned about the people who were assholes to him the whole time, and getting them to respect him, than he was with this guy who suffered at their hands throughout high school and was driven to his life of crime. And so I feel like, you know, there's a lot going on with Megavolt. Now, this figure, there's a lot less going on. You see that we've got posable arms, and we've got, you know, leg joints, and the head does not move in any way, sadly. So, and his hands are just outstretched, and I guess he's doing like a lightning attack, which I feel like if this toy were manufactured today, you would have to have plastic lightning bolts that clip on there and fit on the hands so that he could be. But once again, if he's not shooting lightning, he's also not doing anything else except maybe telling people, calm down, everything is okay, there's nothing to see here. Because that's all you get with a hand motion like this. And a pose like that. There's just... there's limits to what you can do, and as somebody who, you know, I don't just put my toys on the shelf. I play with my toys. I get them out of the box, and I put them into cool poses. I swap out the parts with other characters. I see what I can do with them. I have fun with them before they go onto the shelf, and then they periodically come down and they get rotated. But it's those opportunities for creative play that make toys worth having, in my opinion. And if you're not getting that kind of creative play, then it's really just a statue. And you know, there's something to be said for having a character. You know, if what you wanted was just to be able to say, hey, you know what? I've got Megavolt. I've got Tuscarnini. I've got Gosselin. I've got Darkwing. Look, I've got the whole set here on my shelf or whatever. If that's your thing, then that is perfectly okay. And in those cases, these toys will suit you really, really well. But if you want to interact with them in fun ways, or you want to create fun Instagram posts where you have your action figures interacting with other toys from other different series and other play sets and other universes, then you're going to struggle to be able to do cool things with the characters made the way that they are here. And that's probably the biggest failing of this line. Now, he does have a gimmick. Glomgay says that the sculpts and likenesses are very nice, and that goes a long way. And you know what? I agree with you, Glomgay. That's really the biggest plus with these toys, that they really do look just like the cartoons. You know, let's take another look at Megavolt here. The expression on his face, the detail, you know, the fact that his pupils are different sizes, and the gnashing of the teeth. I mean, he does look like the character from the cartoon. And that's the biggest strength of any of these characters, is that they really did nail the likenesses. So, as much as I can criticize the lack of articulation and the lack of an ability for them to interact with their own accessories, I will say that the look of them is excellent. Really excellent. This one had a sparking feature. His chest has kind of an outlet motif, and you're supposed to be able to flick the back, and it should work sort of like a Bic lighter, but unfortunately, this one you can tell that there's not even any friction there. The mechanism is broken, and it's just a free wheel. I have a Firecon from back in the 80s. Actually, I have 3 Firecons from back in the 80s, and they have a similar thing. Now with these, you're supposed to roll them across the table. You put their legs back and their arms up, and then you would roll them. But hopefully we can get a little sparking here. This because it's important that you see sparks. Oh, there. Yeah. Not bad for a like 40-year-old toy. That's it can still light a cigarette, I guess. These weren't the greatest toys either, but I really did like them. And you know what? I will say this. So here's an example of a toy from my childhood that, once again, rather than giving me articulation, they gave me a gimmick. But these were cheap. You know, if I remember correctly, back in the day, I paid like $3, $4 for this guy. And the transform is just kind of sad. I mean, it's fold the monster bits back out of the way, and then you sort of get a little robot, and you can move the legs. You can't move the arms. You get no articulation with this guy. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to contradict myself, everything that I was just saying, because when I was a kid, I really liked this guy. He was cute. I still like him. He's cute. He's cheap. He's another character that I can add to the collection. He can bulk up the army, and really, with characters like these, it's all about the beast mode. And this isn't a good beast mode, but it was a better beast mode than the robot mode was a robot mode. And in this, you had arms that could move and legs that could move. So, and a little dragon guy, I mean, that's always cool. So, if you had Megavolt and you're thinking, hey Clay, quit dissing on my Darkwing Duck toys, you know what? I apologize. I do. I apologize, because you're allowed to love your Darkwing Duck toys. And, I wouldn't have them if I didn't have love for them. I pick things apart because that's sort of what I do. And I don't waste my time picking apart things that I don't even like. That's one of the reasons that you won't see me talking about the Michael Bay movies on here, except to say that they're shit. So yeah. Am I not allowed to say that? Monica's like, so yeah, they're poop. But I don't pick them apart. I don't try and figure out what part he got wrong, because they're just not good enough. These are good enough for us to want more. And I hate to put it that way, but that's the way that toys are. When you have toys that look like this, and look like this, and look like this, and have all of these details and look so much like the show characters, then you find yourself, I hate to say it because it kind of makes us seem spoiled, but I am spoiled. I want to do more. Because it's gotten so far, then I want to take it to that next level. It's like, Bushroot here, he's actually got a really cool gimmick. Let me show Bushroot's gimmick. And by the way, once again, amazingly good likeness of the character. He's got dynamic proportions, and he's a character that honestly on the show I kind of found him annoying, but nonetheless he really looks the part. And then he's got this growing foliage gimmick, which here let's do this right. There we go. So yeah, he can grow foliage out of his head. And that's actually pretty cool. It's a well done gimmick. I don't know why, but I don't know if this is just this one or if they were all made this way. This arm twists. This arm does not. I just cannot get it to twist. Now you'll notice that there is what appears to be a little hole in the palm here. That's not normally there. We made this. Monica and I, when we got this toy, it had no hand, and so we molded the hand out of Sculpey, and then did some more sculpting on it, and then I attached it with super glue and a long screw that goes up into the arm. So normally there would just be this kind of a pattern here. You don't actually get a hole or anything. So just and I'm only pointing that out because if you thought, well, maybe there's holes in there so that it can pick up things or so that it could interact with attachments, unfortunately there's nothing like that. And once again, with a toy that looks so show accurate. That's something that they really, it would have been so easy for them to just have a universal whole, you know, in Transformers, it's a 5mm post. They could have had a 3mm post or a 4mm post if they wanted something a little bit smaller, but then have every one of their accessories have that size post to fit into a hole that's on a hand. And that just, it makes an easy solution so that if you still want to have Megavolt in his, you know, I'm electrocuting people pose, then he can, but he's also able to still hold things and interact with them. And you know, once again, make this part, this is, it looks like it's a separate part. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm speculating. Well, actually, no, I can see the mold line. So the arm is all one piece. So it would have required more tooling to give him different parts. But I want him to be posable. Okay, I'll back off of that. I'll back off of that. But you know, when the characters are as, you know, the likenesses are so good, you want them to be able to do more stuff. That's just it. So Mark Lungo says Bushroot was another sympathetic villain with a lot of backstory and development. Yeah, he was one of the first ones when I was binge watching the Darkwing Duck, and I don't know for sure if the streaming service had them in the correct order or not, but he was one of the first ones. And again, he transforms into a plant duck, and then all of a sudden everybody's mean to him. Well, actually, everybody was mean to him even before then, and it's like, hey, you know, give the guy a break. He's been horribly mutated, and so then he does criminal things, and so that makes them the bad guy. But that was something that you saw that I kind of suspect we're not going to see that same kind of treatment if they do a new series today. I kind of hope not. I would like to see more complex storytelling, which, as we've seen in DuckTales, they are completely capable of developing characters, even bad guy characters, more, and giving them sincere motivation and treatment, and the potential for redemption, which in the episode where you find out that Megavolt was actually went to high school with Darkwing Duck, he ends up helping Darkwing. The two of them were working together, and it's kind of awesome. And I would have loved to have seen that continue, but you know, the sensibilities back then were that you create a status quo, and then at the end of every episode, you should be able to return to that status quo. And then they would introduce concepts as though they had always been that way. Like Gosselin being a sidekick, and not just a sidekick, but a well-known and popular sidekick. And that was in that episode about them being at a Comic-Con, and she's appearing as the sidekick, and she is more popular than Darkwing Duck. And it's like, wait a minute, I didn't even know that she was a sidekick, and now not only is she a sidekick, but she's more popular than he is. I want to see more development for stuff like that. I want to see that, you know, over a series of episodes rather than just, you know, it was the same thing with his relationship with Organa. Was that her name? Morgana. In fact, I've got a pin of her that has her, so yeah, you know, Darkwing's girlfriend Morgana. I'm watching these episodes in what I believe to be the right order, and she's kind of introduced, and then she's his girlfriend. We didn't see it happen. I want to see it happen. I want to know, how does Drake Mallard end up dating Morgana? So, you know, and for that matter, how is it that that neighbor kid finds out that he's Darkwing? Because they never really explain that either. You know, all sorts of things. So, anyway, moving on. We also, getting to the good guys, because we have spent a lot of time on the rogues. We have Darkwing's right-hand duck, Launchpad McQuack, which had already been in Ducktales. Launchpad features a shaking his head no gimmick, or an exorcist gimmick. So you can spin the head. He seems to be almost sticking out his tongue. I don't know why, but he does have some leg motion. You can move the legs independently, even though it's a little bit, it doesn't seem to want to do that a whole lot, but you seem to be able to do it. His arms move independently, and it looks like he should be able to hold Darkwing's gun, which is good, because that way he can keep it away from Tuscanini. And my cat Dudley is very, very upset. Wait. Dudley, what's the matter, Dudley? Oh, this is Dudley. He is part Siamese, part Manx, which means that he has kind of sunken in eyes and really long claws that get caught on my shirt. And he also has half a tail, which is, that's just part of the Manx. It's not that his tail was ever broken or anything like that. He just has a short, stubby tail. And it's really fun to hold on to. And then he usually doesn't let me... Oh, no. Okay, I guess I can't do that. So you can hold on to the tail, and then, no, he doesn't let you do that. And see, he does let you pet him, and then you can hold the tail. And no, he doesn't let you do that. So thank you, Dudley, for being on camera tonight. And now he's going away. So that's Dudley. And Dudley is not Launchpad. This is Launchpad. Launchpad is head spinning. Let's see. Oh, and Micah is here. Oh, okay. Hey, a toast to Micah. Thank you for showing up, Micah. Toast to Micah. And so, yeah, we've got Launchpad. He can hold stuff. He can't twist his wrists, which is unfortunate. The head is a little bit loose, so sometimes he moves his head when you don't necessarily want him to, but if you hold the back, it's fine. I'm not as crazy about this sculpt. It's, he looks like Launchpad, but he looks a little bit awkward. His likeness is, the expression on the face is a little bit weird, and the hair is a little bit weird. So, he's not bad, and certainly if you're collecting Darkwing Duck figures in 1991, then you want to have Launchpad. It doesn't matter whether the sculpt is top notch or if it is a little bit awkward. You want Launchpad. Launchpad is more critical to the Darkwing Duck team than Robin is to Batman. He is what grounds Darkwing, and also what drives Darkwing when especially when he gets to fly the Thunderquack. So yeah, Launchpad, when Darkwing Duck kind of gets lost in his own ego, Launchpad is the character whose innate goodness and innate sense of right versus wrong, he is the compass that points north for Darkwing throughout the show. And that's important because Drake Mallard is a complicated character that does have he needs some guidance, and Gosselin too. So yeah, they both need a launch pad. So yeah, launch pad. Oh, and Tie Guy is here. A toast to Tie Guy. Good to see you, Tie Guy. Thank you for joining us tonight on a Sunday night live stream. That's just, I have to work tomorrow, but nonetheless. And I see Johnny Marrero. Did I say that right? I think Johnny Marrero. A toast to Johnny Marrero. Thank you for joining us. And I just have to comment on Machiavellic. He says his cat's name is Piston because his dad works with motorcycles. I love the idea of a cat named Piston. That is a great name for a cat. So a toast to Piston. And fortunately, I have a second bottle of Darkwing Duck. Is this a... Yeah, this is a twist off? Okay. Yeah. You know what? I see the little arrows, but the little arrows are not working for me. And you'd think that with all the calluses on my hands, that I would just be able to pull that off as though my hand were an old shoe, but apparently not. So, anyway, a toast to Piston. So, yeah, glad to have Launchpad, but just wish that he looked a little bit better. And the gimmick does work well, though. You know, you can get some speed on that. I don't know what that's for, but you can do it, and that's important. So let's go ahead. We'll set Launchpad back here. You see that we've actually got several Launchpads from several lines here, but we're gonna stick with the 1991 Playmates lines. Now this is oh gosh, I keep forgetting. Honker. I don't understand why any parent would name their child Honker. And he's got this is just a really odd, so he's got this thing in the side of his head where his glasses plug in. And if you press the feet in, then his glasses sit straight on his face. And if you let them go, the glasses are off to the side. And I don't know why. My glasses, I've had glasses since I was in first grade, and they never, you know, if this is how they were sitting on my face all the time, then I would not be able to see. I don't understand this gimmick. I just don't. I mean, like, I could see it a little bit more if it was something where when you press his feet down, they do like a thing, you know, it's like, you know, or a woo, you know, something like that, or even, you know, if they did something like that when you, but to have them in the sort of off the side of his face position, and you have to press to make them straighten out. And by the way, when they're straight, here, let's just take a look. He can't see through those. They're still above his eyes. Look, he's got them sort of on his forehead there. So Honker, I don't understand your gimmick. What is your? I don't get it. And I'm getting mixed messages from my producer, aka my lovely wife. Mark says he thinks the gimmick works by pressing the legs up, and then they stick and then release, and then he jumps. Okay, let's... Maybe, okay, let's go ahead to the side camera. So maybe this is something where he's... You do this, and then... Well, if he is supposed to jump, perhaps he's too old to jump, and now he just sort of... He isn't catching. Again, got these on eBay secondhand, so it is possible that the mechanisms just aren't working the way that they're supposed to. But, well, I'm managing to knock other stuff over. But yeah, I don't get this gimmick. Now, you can just take the glasses off. There is... Yeah, this just... There. So there's just this little peg here and this thing on the side. And then he's just Honker without his glasses. Or you could even put the glasses on him and just sort of hook him there. And then he looks normal. And so that's how I would have this toy most of the time. The gimmick just doesn't seem to add anything. Once again, you have arms in an odd position. I mean, I don't know. Is he asking for money? He seems to be asking for money. And now I feel awkward because I don't have any money to give Honker. Can I? Oh, here we go. Okay. Thanks. We do have some. Can I give you a quarter? There we go. So there we gave Honker a quarter. He can't really grip the quarter. Maybe? No, he can't grip the quarter. Honker, you want money, but you can't take it. I don't understand you, Honker. You're making me feel very uncomfortable because you're looking at me with an insistent gaze and you're holding out your hand, and every time I try and give you something, you don't hold on to it. I don't understand Honker. I don't understand his name. I don't understand his gimmick. I'm you know what? Honker, you're dead to me. That's it. Sorry, Honker. We'll have to work on a relationship later, but yeah, you're just gonna have to stay in the background here. I'm gonna set Darkwing back up because he oh, now I'm knocking over Launchpad, and there we go. Oh boy, we're having technical difficulties with multiple Launchpads. There we go. And so let us get to so Machiavellic says Honker is asking for royalties for his cameo in Chicken Little. That's it. Okay, well, now I understand, Honker. I can't give you royalties. I have nothing to do with that production. So, he's sad now. He's gonna go away. Now he's gonna ask Launchpad for money. And Savage Shark is here! A toast to Savage Shark! So we have looked at Launchpad, we've looked at Honker, we've looked at Gosselin. You know who you want to see. That's right, the man of the hour. He is the terror that flaps in the night. He is the action figure molded with a gimmick that inhibits his articulation. He is Darkwing Duck. And there he is. You can barely see his face under the hat. And I noticed the same thing with Negatron in the background. If you look, you can't even see his face there. And then you look at other Darkwing back here. I have to say that this is a good experiment on the feasibility of hiding your identity with a Darkwing Duck costume. And the good news is, it appears to work. So, you could have a mask and a wide-brimmed hat, and even if people could see your mouth, they won't because everything's in shadow. So, for those of you, I'm not going to point out any names, but I know that some of you can probably build a grappling hook and a gas gun. Okay, this is a sidebar. Am I allowed to do a sidebar? So for many years, I was at my company. I was managing the prototyping department at our company, and so we had we still have a full shop. I'm just not the manager there, and strangely enough, I did not get fired. So we used to do a Secret Santa, and we put I think it was a $20 limit, maybe a $10 limit on how much you could spend for your Secret Santa. And so what I did for one of the guys on my team, the guy whose name I got in the Secret Santa, was I decided to spend the money on parachute cord and a valve, and then we had tons and tons of scrap parts. We would buy stuff and just tear it apart to get a mechanism because we were building prototypes. So we had all this junk, tons of junk. And so I cobbled together an air-powered Batman-style grappling hook for this guy for Christmas. And I don't know if he liked it as much as I did, but it could shoot about 20 feet into the air, and it had a weighted metal thing. And see, the way that I had it was, the idea was you shoot it up, get it to loop over something, and then it comes down, and then you attach it, because I didn't know how to make something that would have some kind of mechanism that's strong enough to hold, but also from your position, wherever you finished swinging, you'd be able to release it. I know on the cartoons and the comic books, Batman can just shoot this thing and then it just comes back. And I imagine he's got wireless technology and stuff that can release and stuff like that. But I didn't have that in mind. But nonetheless, that's that. So the point of the story is, if you feel a need to fight crime, you can build an air-powered grappling hook and be able to fight crime just like Darkwing Duck. All you need is a turtleneck sweater, which you'd think it would be a duck neck sweater. But anyway, a turtleneck sweater, a double-breasted jacket, a cape, and a really wide-brimmed hat, and of course the mask. It will hide your identity, and you too can fight crime. But I'm not recommending it because that's dangerous. So this is Darkwing Duck. He also has a gimmick here, and this one works pretty well. He's got a hat popping up and spinning gimmick, and that's one of the best engineered gimmicks of all the gimmicks that we've seen in this line. Because it really pops up, it really spins, and I think that it's supposed to look like he's surprised. So it's like, oh, what? Bushroot? Oh, wait. Okay. I was just saying, Darkwing. I was just saying that it works really well, and you're making me look bad here. What? Bushroot? Oh. I mean, and then he would grab his hat and put it back on his head and be like, wait, no. Let's get dangerous. And I forget who has... Oh, Launchpad. Launchpad can aim his gun because he can't hold his gun. So, yeah, that is Darkwing. He does look like the character. The colors are great. And the gimmick is not bad. he can pivot his head, which is nice. A lot of these characters can't do that. I wish he could hold his gun. I really wish he could hold his gun. He can move his legs, so that's good. So there are some things that you can do with this character that you can't do with the other ones. Looks good, good gimmick, and but gosh, I want him to be able to hold his gun. I just so close, so close, but you know, can't hold his gun. So that is a bunch of the 1991 Playmates Darkwing Duck toys. And, oh, is Sean Shago here? Oh, a toast to Sean Shago. Thank you for joining us for a Darkwing Duck special. I don't know if you're a Darkwing Duck fan, but if you're not, you should be. So, let's see. KTM. Oh, KTM. Oh, KTM. Oh, okay. Welcome, KTM. A toast to KTM. Sorry, yeah, I've got a screen over here where Monica's letting me know in big print when she sees somebody new pop up, and then she typed KTM, and I was waiting for the rest, and then I saw over here on the chat, no, that it's KTM, KT space M. So, a toast to KT space M. Thank you for joining us. So. That is the Playmates Darkwing Duck line, and I would say that as a line of toys, yes, I have criticisms, and there's things that I wish they had, and I felt the same way back in the 80s when I had my Transformers collection. There were tons and tons of the Gen 1 Transformers that had virtually no articulation. And that's something where I feel like the toys that they're producing now are better in so many ways because of the ability to actually get them into poses and stuff. So I think that it's just a modern sensibilities thing. And hopefully if they're doing them now, they'll do better. And Cheeky Boy is here! Oh, a toast to Cheeky Boy! Thank you for joining us, Cheeky Boy! So, moving on just a little bit. Well, wait a minute here. There is one more that I want to pull out, and this one I don't think we need to show on the small cam. So this is the big now this one I believe is also no, is this Playmates or Funko? This is Playmates. So this is also 1991. This, I mean, you know what? I know that all of you want this because I want this and I'm holding it. And I don't have the hat, in fact, we didn't even have the cape when we first got him. Monica made the cape, and she did a very, very nice job. And at some point we'll make a hat for him. But this is the nicest toy that they produced. And no, it's not really posable. You've got some arm articulation and a little bit of leg articulation, and you can move the head around. But it's a beautiful, beautiful sculpt. They've really captured his look. And what they did here, I love what they did with the face. Because if you look at him from one side, he's in his aggressive, let's get dangerous pose. See, this is where he's like looking at the camera and he says, let's get dangerous. And then there's also the... Oh! I didn't realize that you're the security guard and not a criminal. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Well, if you'd like, I can give you an autograph. And so that's the expression that you get from there. And so he's just awesome. And if you just keep him on a shelf and just point him out to your neighbors, they'll be jealous. If you take him with you into restaurants, you will immediately get better service because everybody wants to see a large-scale Darkwing Duck toy, and yeah, he is an excellent conversation piece. He's really an excellent addition to any home. So yeah, large Darkwing Duck, the gem of the Playmates Darkwing Duck series, absolute gem. So and yes, I was just going to get to that. So I'm getting messages not to forget stuff, and I hadn't yet. So I'll just set Darkwing Duck back over here for just a moment. So here's the most disappointing thing about the Playmates line is the stuff that didn't get produced. Let's see. I just got a bunch of links, and so here we go. If you look here, this is the canceled Wave 2 Darkwing Duck line. We had Liquidator, we had Morgana, we had Gizmo Duck, we had Chief Agent, the bear guy. I forget his name off the top of my head. We had, what? J. Edgar? Something? I don't know. You had Negaduck, and oh boy, you know, I can't believe that Negaduck didn't get released until he didn't get released at all. That's the thing. All of these toys that you see here, they never got produced. They never got produced. I guess the original line didn't do that well. And I'm just gonna throw out this question and feel free to discuss it in the chat or even after we're done with the live stream, throw in your comments to this video, because I want an answer to this question. Why did the Darkwing Duck line of toys not do well? Because they had an awesome show with a huge following. I mean, the Disney Afternoon, there was a time there where I didn't even have television and I knew about the Disney Afternoon. Okay, I was involved in girls, well, one girl really, and but it was very dramatic, and I still knew about the Disney Afternoon, and I knew about Darkwing Duck even though I wasn't watching the shows, and I knew that I liked it even though I didn't get to see it. And you know what? I was right. And if I had been watching that show, I probably would have wanted to collect the toys. Now, maybe I would have been critical of the toys, but I still would have bought them because I obviously bought things like this, and I was happy to have them. So why? Can somebody explain to me why it is that these toys didn't do well? You know, is it because the implementation wasn't out of this world? Because they look good, you know, and they look great in a package, and they're very good representations of the characters. So the only way that you would know about the things that I'm complaining about, like the inability to hold stuff, would be after you already bought them. So I can't imagine that would be why these toys didn't go well and they canceled the second wave. So I'm open to suggestions. I honestly don't know, but I'd like to know. So that gets us through 1991. And then we, you know, there were some other things. Okay, I'm going to just show these real quick. We also had, you know, this just goes to show how popular Darkwing Duck was. They had Darkwing Duck watches, and yeah, this one has, you know, this one's pretty simple. It's just a basic watch with a screen printed band. And you know, a sticker on the inside and a sticker on the outside. But then you look at this. This is tooled up for, yeah, that's a genuine Darkwing Duck watch. And then you open up the cape here, and you see that he's carrying bombs and his gas gun in his cape, which is awesome, by the way. So, I mean, heck, if I were in elementary school, I would wear these with pride. Those are fantastic. So obviously there was enough popularity there to make this stuff, and so yeah, I don't know why the line didn't get to continue, but it is very sad because we never got Negaduck. We never got any of, you know, we never got Morgana. We never got any of those other characters. And that's a real shame. So is it? Oh, it's 7:36. Wow. Okay. Let's then, since we're at the end of 1991, let's go ahead and get entries for the giveaway. So, are all of you ready to do the giveaway? So, I'm getting told to hold on for just a second. I'm about to show you the secret word. Is everybody ready to get the secret word? So how this is going to work is I'm going to show you the secret word, and then you just go ahead and put this secret word into the chat if you want to be entered into the drawing, and then your name will go into the bubble machine, and we'll get some bubbles, and whoever's names we get out of the bubble machine gets stuff. So, are we ready? All right, here is the secret word. 1991. That's right. If you would like to be entered into the drawing, 1991 is your word. Go ahead and enter that right now. And then once you're done, then yeah, we're still going to continue because Monica's monitoring the chat, and she will mark down everybody who enters 1991 into the chat, and then give me a whole bunch of bubbles. And you don't have to worry, because we put the bubbles into a big bowl and I mix them up and dump them in. So there's no statistical advantage to being first or last or anywhere in between. So, oh yeah, I'm seeing lots of 1991s. That is awesome. All right, so we will have stuff for everyone. And while you're getting all of those, I am going to move on. Moving on. So in 2018, Ducktales is a hit. The show is a hit. It's an absolute hit. Fans of... Now, I have heard... I have a friend at work who was a big DuckTales fan, and he just couldn't get into the new one, and I don't understand that. I think, you know, I think it's the nostalgia factor where it's not like the old show. They do things differently. You know, Webby is way different than she was in the original show, and the brothers are, you know, each one is very distinctive and has their own motivation and their own voice and their own personality, and that's something that you really didn't get in the original DuckTales show, when the three triplets were essentially one character, that they sounded alike, they looked alike except for color, and they all had the same motivations, and maybe he just couldn't get into that. And okay, I'll accept that, but to me, the new show is just so damn good. You know, if you change something like yeah, As a Transformers fan, I've seen a lot of different takes on Transformers. Some good, some not so good. But when they do a good job, I'm happy for it. Transformers Prime as a series was very, very different than the 1984 series. But it was still great. Transformers Animated was way different. And as long as you ignore the episodes where they're fighting human supervillains, you just kind of have to throw those aside. The rest of the series was phenomenal, but very different. So yeah, but he didn't like it, and that's okay. But nonetheless, I would say that overwhelmingly, DuckTales from the modern DuckTales TV show has been an absolute hit, and I love it. I suspect that all of you love it, and so of course we got toys. Yay! We got toys! And so, since they did include Darkwing Duck, we did get a little bit of Darkwing Duck. Woo! 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 So, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. We have... and now the problem is that it's hard for me to tell the difference between the 2018 toys and the 2019 toys. So I'm going to do my best here. So I believe that from 2018, Negaduck was part of the 2018 line from Funko, right? Yes. Okay. So let's start with, or not Negaduck, Negatron. So Negatron here. And he seems to be holding, I think that this is Jason Voorhees' chainsaw. I'm okay with that, because he's not a nice guy. But notice that you can wedge that chainsaw in there, and I like him with a chainsaw. This is a really nicely sculpted figure. He looks great. He looks show accurate, and we have a lot more arm articulation than you had in the other. You have a bend at the shoulder and a bend at the elbow. I kind of want to be able to rotate the wrists. You can rotate the legs and get a little bit of articulation there. You can move the head. I wish that I could get the hat off. The hat does not come off. And, I just want to be able to take off the hat. The cape is nice and flexible, but it still holds its shape. It looks great. It's just a really, really nice toy. And so Negatron, Negatron oftentimes gets confused with Negaduck. And they are not the same character. Negatron is apparently... he is from a negative universe, and he is a negative universe version of Darkwing Duck. So he is, it's sort of like when you go into the mirror universe in Star Trek and everybody's got goatees and they're evil. So he's kind of the goatee version of Darkwing Duck. And right now he's got a chainsaw, which is just scary. Negaduck, conversely, I guess he was the bad part of... Oh, I'm going backwards? So, okay, so he is the bad part of Darkwing Duck's personality. I apologize. I had that backwards. See, even I do it. So Negatron is the dark part of Darkwing Duck's personality, whereas Negaduck is from the negative universe. So yeah, they are not the same character. I think that Negatron was from the comics. Because I don't remember him ever actually appearing in the show. Was he in the... So, I'm correct? He was in the show. Oh, he was? He was in the show. Oh, okay. I don't remember. Yeah, I must... I'm missing episodes. That's what it is. My streaming service is missing episodes because I never saw it. Which may explain why some of the stuff that I saw has gone unexplained because I'm just missing episodes. Which is a shame because, you know, he's pretty cool looking. But nonetheless, Geeks Cosmics was just saying Bizarro Darkwing. And that's a little bit of what you get with Megaduck, and then, you know, he's just the dark part of Darkwing's soul. He is the terror that flaps in Darkwing's heart. Yeah, I just went there. So nonetheless, a very nice figure. And nicely sculpted, really good likeness of the character. Looks great. Obviously, they repainted Darkwing to create this, and but it really does look good. And then let's just set him aside here. Of course, you also have Darkwing from the same mold, and boy, he looks good. He really does just look good. Same articulation, same elbow joints, same arm joints, same ability to move the head. Unfortunately, you can't take off the hat. He's got his leg movement. The colors are great. I especially like the pink on the inside of the cape and the gray on the outside of the cape. He's just really nice. And I've always really liked the color scheme of Darkwing Duck. The teal duck neck shirt that you can see sticking out from behind the double-breasted jacket, and also the tips of the sleeves that you could always see, is unexpected, but it's a nice contrast to the purple and yellow motif, and then the gray hat. He's got style. And if I hold him in the light, you can see the face sculpt is just excellent. His face is expressive, beautifully molded, and to be honest, I've always kind of struggled to understand how some of these molding operations work when you've got obvious undercuts in there, things like that. I'm assuming that they're using silicone molding rather than traditional metal molding, and but to me, I would think that would be expensive and wouldn't give you the volume that you're looking for. Nonetheless, just a really nice figure, and his hands seem to be, I don't. Let's see if we can get him to hold his gas gun. Okay, look at that. He can hold his gun. Now, it kind of seems pretty loose, like it wants to fall out, but nonetheless, they have actually made it so that he can hold his gas gun, and that's so nice. Thank you, Funko. Funko, hey, you gave me a Darkwing Duck that can hold his gun. Thank you. A toast to Funko for giving us a Darkwing that can hold his gun. So, yeah. This is an excellent figure. I don't know that it's terribly expensive on the secondary market. What would you say? Like about 15? So yeah, $15. You know what? I feel like it's not a bad value for $15. Yes, $15 is a little bit pricey for a small-sized action figure, but if you're a Darkwing Duck fan, then I feel like, it's, you just have to give up one combo at the drive-thru. Get yourself some ramen noodles and have that instead for a night, and then you can afford a Darkwing Duck Funko figure, and you'll be happy for it, because after, you can always go back later and get another combo at the drive-thru. And I know what you're thinking. Which drive-thru? It's Taco Bell, obviously. So, go to Taco Bell, get your combo, maybe get 2. Or rather, don't go to Taco Bell. Save your money, buy this, go to Taco Bell next week. So, yeah. So, yeah, really nice. And then we've also got Launchpad McQuack. So, if I can get Darkwing to stand up, we've got Launchpad McQuack here, and he looks great. He's really looking great. He's also got more posability. He's actually got a ball joint on his shoulder so that he can move his arms out. He's got an elbow joint. We can move the head back and forth, and it does not spin. We've got some waist articulation here, and we can twist his feet. His legs don't go up and down, but we can at least move him around a little bit. And that adds a lot. I'm really, really digging this figure. He's, his face sculpt is excellent. Unlike the last one, his expression is just totally Launchpad. And you see the flaps on his aviator goggles kind of sticking out as though they're flapping in the wind. That's awesome. His scarf looks great. This is just an awesome figure. I love this figure. And once again, very nice quality. The paint, the colors and the paint deco is I don't even know. Yeah, they have used a little bit of paint deco for the little tab on his jacket and his goggles. The colors are nice, and this is another thing that I'm going to contrast between these 2018 figures and the 1991 figures. Whereas with the 1991 figures, you have this hard, shiny plastic and these very noticeable part lines in between the two halves of the toy. With the Funko figures, the plastic is just a little bit softer, still very, very solid. The part lines are much finer. They're still visible, but not nearly as noticeable. He feels like he's a higher quality figure, and he looks great. He just looks fantastic. And Launchpad, as I said before, if you are a Darkwing Duck fan, if you are a Ducktales fan, if you are a Disney fan, then if you don't love Launchpad, then I'm not sure I understand why, because everybody loves Launchpad, and everybody should love Launchpad. Launchpad is the one thing that can be universally agreed on by all people across the planet. You don't even have to know DuckTales to know that you like Launchpad. So, yeah.
Glom gold! Glom gold! Glom gold! Glom gold!
Or Glom Gold. Or Glom Gold. You should also like Glom Gold. Because Glom Gold is a treasure. So Launchpad. If you have the opportunity to pick up a Funko Launchpad, it's well worth it. He's great, and I just kind of feel like I should just keep him with me to talk to and to get him to drive me places. No, I don't want him to drive me places because I like my car. So that is Launchpad and Darkwing, and do we want to do the drawing, or let's do the drawing? Okay, because we're getting close to 8 o'clock, so we should do the drawing. And so I'm going to take my little TVU thing here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull pull the votive candles over, and I will show them so that we can. And I'm going to go and kind of. So I know that normally people do the big prize last. I think I'm going to do the big prize first, and that's going to be the big in quotations. This is the Darkwing Duck votive candle, and you can see Monica's beautiful artwork here. I love this, and what makes me happy is that even though I have to give this away, I know that she's capable of making me one for Halloween. So, so let's go ahead. We've got all the names in here, written on little pieces of paper. And I cannot see any of the names. Very nice. And so we are going to pour the names into our Twilight Sparkle machine. What? Oh, yeah, we can move it over. So let's... Okay, the mechanics of this are involved. Here we go. We're going to move Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones failed to hold the little TV screen, so he has to move. You can sit over there. And quit complaining, Mr. Bones. And then do this. There we go. So now we will take off the lid. All right. And we'll put this back on. If I can line it up with the stick. There's the stick. So there we go. Oh, we should have that on. There we go. So, all right. So, for the first prize in our giveaway, the Darkwing Duck votive candle. Here we go. Do we have like a drum roll? Oh, we don't have a drum roll. Okay, I've been told that I can wait for a drum roll. Now, if I could get everybody in the chat to go... No, that's not going to work. I can't... Oh, there we go. There we go. And the winner of the Darkwing Duck votive candle is... my friend Micah! So, there we go. My friend Micah, your friend Micah, you will be the proud recipient of a Darkwing Duck votive candle. Congratulations! Oh, thank you, Joy. Joy gave us a drum roll also. So, there we go. That is going to Micah. Yay! There we go. So, for our next recipient, this of the Launchpad votive candle. That one's really cool. I love what you did with the hair. So, here we go. There we go. Drum roll. Tie Guy, you get the Launchpad votive candle. Congratulations, Tie Guy. All right, There we go. We're just going to stick that right there. Okay, and now for the Gosselin votive candle. Oh, she's creepy looking. That's awesome. So there we go. That's Gosselin. Drum roll, please. Glom J! Glom J! Glom Gay! Glom Gay! Glom Gay. Okay, yes! I was kind of hoping that I'd get the Glom Gold, chant, but... Congratulations, Glom Gay! You are the proud recipient of the Gosselin votive candle!
Glom gold, glom gold, glom gold, glom gold!
Okay, yes!
Glom gold, glom gold! This will rue the day he heard the name Flint-Hard Glom Gold!
I so want a Glom Gold action figure. That needs to happen. Oh! We have one! We have Glom Gold! Yay! I didn't think that we had one. Okay. Been so focused on the Darkwing Duck action figures, I didn't look at the Ducktales action figures. So, okay. So, 1 minute. Okay, so we are doing the first Darkwing Duck pinball game. Here we go. Cassie Vivian! Congratulations, Cassie! Woo! You are the proud recipient of a Darkwing Duck pinball game. Very, very nice. Very nice. We have a second pinball game. Here we go. And that one is going to fold it up a lot. Chloe D! Chloe D! You are the proud second recipient of a Darkwing pinball game. Congratulations! Woo! Woo! I'm getting the 1 second reminder. So there we go. And now the button set, correct? And now last but not least, we have a set of Ducktales and related characters buttons. We got 7 of these, featuring Louey and Darkwing and Webby and Huey and Murder Ponies and Louey and Scrooge. So, all the important characters. And let's see, I have to put 50 cents into my own machine to make it work. Mark Lungo! Mark Lungo! Congratulations, Mark! Woo! All right, so and give me an extra yay for Collie D, because I don't think that there. I want to make sure that you got your proper yay. So, all right. So here, I will set these over here. There we go. And then I have a whole bunch of these. And so that is the giveaway. So now, are you using private messaging in Twitter, or do you want to use the email? Okay, so I have an email for this channel. Oh, you're just going to put it in chat? Okay, so Monica is going to put the email address for this channel into the chat, and then you can email us your address, and then we can send you stuff out, and then that's then you get stuff, which cool, free stuff. I like free stuff. I even like free stuff when I'm giving free stuff to other people. Yeah, that's how it works. So we are at 8 o'clock. We have gone through the entire 1991 Ducktales line. We have also looked at some of the characters from the Funko line, and we've given away stuff. So I feel like we've done pretty good. I'm getting messages. I'm getting. Do you want to do the money stacks? Well, sure. Okay, so you know what? While we Monica's going to do some stuff, get you some information. So we're going to, because we do have some other toys that we can show. So let's go ahead and show these things. These are from 2019, and they were blind bags. Well, blind boxes. Blind. They're blind. Okay, they're blind buying, and you know, I'm not into the whole buying blind things, but I want there to be something in there that tells me what's inside. But nonetheless, we did need these figures, and so we bought them blind. These are from Phatmojo, and these are just little mini figures. They are not posable, but they come in these little containers that look like stacks of coins. And so this is a modern Phatmojo sculpt of Darkwing Duck, and it looks pretty good. It's small. It's very, very small, but the colors are great, and I love the modern interpretation of the outfit. Once again, a really nice sculpt. I'm gonna tilt him on his side so that you can get some light on his face, because as we discussed earlier, when you wear a hat that big, you can't see the person's face. You know, so just another reminder for those of you who feel the need to fight crime. So yeah, the sculpt is very nice. I'm gonna adjust the focus here so that you can really see it. Let's that's a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, very serious expression on Darkwing here, but he looks good. You can't bend the arms up, you can't bend the legs, but these are insanely collectible, and I want to say that these things were what, like $5, $6, something like that. Oh, 3 or 4. So you know, not bad for a blind bag figure. Very nice, and you know, the Phatmojo, which is spelled PHAT, has done a nice job with these toys. And then let's also take a look over here So we've got another one here, and this is our Launchpad, and he is sporting his suit and tie look. Well, okay, aviator jacket and tie. Once again, not posable, but a really nice sculpt of the figure nonetheless. And if all you could find were figures like these, then yeah, they did a pretty good number of these things. The face, I mean, you know, the face tells you everything that you need to know about Launchpad. He is very expressive. He seems to be hitching a ride. Great job on the jacket. Looks good. Looks very good. And you can also see we've got another one of the Phatmojo versions of Launchpad. This is also a 2019 figure that his legs are a little bit floppy. You know, he's got a lot of plastic on him, and so there's a lot of weight to be supported on those legs. So he sometimes wants to take a bow unexpectedly. This figure does have articulation. You know, you have each of the legs that can move forward. You have the arms that move at the shoulder. We don't have any wrist twisting or any elbows with these, which is unfortunate. I think that I tend to like the older, you know, the 2018 Launchpad figure. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I mean, this one has elbow joints, but this one has leg joints. Between the two, yeah, it's tough. I really like both of them. You know, that's the truth of the matter. I really like both of them, and so I can't honestly say that there's one that I would rather have more than the other, because they're both really, really nice interpretations of this character. I think that I like the sculpt on the Phatmojo version better. He just has a little bit more detail, and his colors are a little bit more subdued. But boy, you know, the Funko one is really nice as well. So yeah, that's, and once again, with the modern Ducktales toy line, there was supposed to be a second wave. Phatmojo had a display at Toy Fair that was Toy Fair 2019, wasn't it? I think it was Toy Fair 2019. I think that I have some pictures here. Yeah, it was Toy Fair 2019. So here you can see this was Toy Fair, and they had a whole DuckTales section, and if I scroll through here, you can see that they were planning on having Scrooge and Della, and it's hard to see who that was, but they do have some zoomed up versions. They have Super Saiyan version of Huey along with Boyd, and then they have Lunaris, Donald, and Huey and Louey, and then we've got Webby dressed as a scout, and Dewey in a hat, and another Scrooge. Now, if you look really closely, none of these packages actually have toys in them. These have, if you look really, really close, you can see that they have cardboard cutouts of characters, not actual toys. And of course, we did get the money bin, so that was something that you were able to get, and we got one. You actually did get the plane with Launchpad, and we got that as well. We never got the Sword of Selene, which, well, I guess it's called Della's Rocket, and it's red. The Sword of Selene was gold, but I kind of assume that it's supposed to be the Sword of Selene. So Or the Spear of Selene. I'm sorry, not the Sword of Selene. The Sword of Selene was actually on the island. But, just down the hall, 2 doors down. So, but yeah, the Spear of Selene. We have what looks like a box that would have contained a Donald. But a lot of these toys didn't come out. So, what's the deal? Once again, we are teased with a second toy line that doesn't happen. Why? Oh, by the way, just so that you know, those pictures that I was just showing you, that's all thanks to Duck Talks. Again, they're great, and I encourage everybody to go over and go to visit their channel, visit their Twitter, follow these guys in all of the social media ways that they offer, which I don't really understand social media, so I can't tell you how that works. But nonetheless, I know that it exists, and that's important. So let's see. We're just going to have to do a full live stream about the DuckTales toy line. That's something that's just going to have to happen because there are more toys to show, and the most important toy to show is
Glomgold! Brilliant scheming, Glomgold!
So, yes, we will talk about Glomgold.
Is that shark wearing a parka?
I call it a shark. Because Papa doesn't want his precious babies getting sick. No, I don't.
Yeah, life just doesn't have enough Glomgold in it. That's the truth. So, and Mazenfur just showed up. Let's give a big toast to Mazenfur. I am sorry, Mazenfur. You are coming in at the very tail end of this. But I'm so glad to see you here. A toast to Mazenfur.
Glomgold! 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 Glomgold!
Just so you know, we can keep using that sound effect for every live stream. Okay, I will never get tired of hearing that. So yes, I think that's everything. I think that we're here. It is 20 after 8 on a work night. I'm really, really, really looking forward to the new episode. If you can, go check out the live playthrough that Duck Talks is doing on their YouTube channel at 10 o'clock tonight. It is the NES version of the Darkwing Duck video game. So go over there and support them and cheer for them as they play Darkwing Duck. That's going to be awesome. Unfortunately, I have to get up for work, so I'm not going to be there, which is kind of sad. So I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I would like to thank Flapping Terror, Collie D, Glomgay, Noisy Paper Dragon, Chill, Jonah, Enigma Prince, Arsena, Jeff Rothman, Kyoji, Mark Lungo, The American Dude, Pale Iguana, see I got it right this time, Joy, Cassie Vivian, Geeks Cosmics Entertainment, Pirate Steven, a toast, Max Verkorteren, I got that, Johnny Marrero, Ty Guy, Savage Shark, Sean, of course Sean, KT Space M, Cheeky Boy, and Mazenfur. Thank you all for joining me tonight for this very special Sunday night live stream. You guys are awesome. Congratulations to our winners tonight. And look forward to next week. We are going to be doing, let's see, I believe, Beast Wars Megatron. We're going to be talking all about Beast Wars Megatron. There's a number of different versions of that toy, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for us American types. -5 hours GMT, however that works, for more global people. And so that's everyone. Have a wonderful night. I hope you had a great weekend. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you Friday night. And keep your eyes on the channel, because we always like to release at least one other video or live stream throughout the week. I'll see everybody next time. Have a wonderful evening.